Yo, what's up, everybody? Stand 'em up here. Today we are talking, of course, about UFC 285 Jones versus Gane. I'm very excited for this card. Finally, a good fucking card, man. This is a 14 fight card with one banger, two banger, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'd say like 11 of these are bangers, bro. I'm so excited. Let's just get into it. The main event, Jon Jones, of course, versus Cyril Gane for the vacant. What the fuck is this? Whatever. For the vacant heavyweight belt. And Gane, of course, vacated his belt out of the UFC, so these two are fighting for it. Cyril Gane, of course, 4-1 in his last 5, 11-1 overall. While Jon Jones never lost, does have the Jon Jones stuff and the disqualification, or the Daniel Cormier stuff and the disqualification. But besides that, undefeated, has never lost, not even in the UFC. He is 15-0 in title fights, which is kind of crazy. So let's get into it, man. I'm very excited for this one. Both are 6'4", but I'm pretty sure Cyril Gane is taller. I'm pretty sure he's like 6'5" or 6'6". He does have the reach disadvantage, though. Jon Jones has a 3.5 reach advantage. He is a bit older, like 3 years older, but I don't know if that will make such a big difference because it is heavyweight. Heavyweights tend to be older. Especially at the top, like you have CP Miocic, Daniel Cormier was at the top as well. Like Derek Lewis is old as well, so that's not a big, huge problem. It's more that I think that, like in fighting years, that he is pretty old because he became the champion at 23 years of age, which is crazy. And I feel like 12 years of being just elite at the top, I feel like that does wear on your body, and that's more of a problem than the age itself. Well, Cyril Gane is very fresh. He made his professional combat sports debut in 2016, which was 7 years ago. So it's not even that he's on the top level for 7 years. He is just at a professional level for 7 years, and he just looks fresh. He hasn't taken the damage on his body or on his chin as well. Although he did get knocked down by Taito Iwasa, I feel like everybody would have gotten knocked down from that shot, even Ngannou. But yeah. Let's just go into the skill of both these guys. Obviously, Jon Jones, elite everywhere, great striking, great wrestling, great BJJ even. Yeah, the striking, I'd say, goes to Cyril Gane. I feel like he's faster. I feel like he has more tools. He has the better kicks. He is, I don't know if he's more dynamic, but I don't know, it just looks more natural when he's striking, man. Like he does have some faults, like when he gets out of the pocket, he gets away real weird. He drops his head and everything. That I feel like Jon Jones is smart enough to maybe use that to his advantage, maybe knee him or head kick him while his head is down, that kind of stuff. Cyril Gane does have those faults, but like in the clinch, he's strong, he's big, he's good. He has good elbows, he has good knees as well, he has good teep kicks, he has a good jab, very fast as well. He moves amazingly. I feel like Jon Jones doesn't have that movement at heavyweight. I've seen him. I've seen some footage of him at 265. He isn't moving too amazingly, like very flat-footed. I feel like it won't be the same guy. He is pretty big, like Jon Jones is pretty big, but his legs are still pretty small. I feel like Cyril Gane could make use of that with some good low kicks, maybe some calf kicks as well, because like I said, Jon Jones is looking pretty flat-footed, so I feel like those especially those calf kicks could work, because blocking them while you're flat-footed is pretty hard. Now the wrestling obviously goes to Jon Jones. Defensive wrestling, I feel like Cyril Gane worked on it, because he looked pretty bad in the defensive wrestling against Francis Ngannou, but that is partly because of the physicality of Ngannou. I feel like because he's very strong. Cyril Gane did make some big mistakes though, like when he was on top, he went for a heel hook for no reason. That was a very bad mistake. he went for submissions instead of trying to defend takedowns, and like he went for a Kimura one time when Francis Ngannou had him had a double leg. If he just defended it normally, I feel like he would have defended it, and I do think that he will learn from it. Especially against a guy like Jon Jones, you have to just defend takedowns and not try to get any slick submissions, because that's not going to work. I think that in the physicality wise, Cyril Gane is a natural heavyweight. I feel like he will be stronger, he will be bigger, especially in the legs, because I've seen some pictures and the legs just look small, man, and I feel like that's going to be a bit of a problem. Jon Jones, of course, a good wrestler, but like I said, I feel like he's worn out a bit. He had no success in the wrestling, almost no success in the wrestling against Dominic Reyes. If Cyril Gane is smart, is training well, I feel like he could just defend most of the takedowns and win a, I'd say, decision that way, because I don't know if he wants to make too many big mistakes against Jon Jones, or big moves. So I feel like he will just deep kick, jab, low kicks, and just win a decision that way. Like when he exactly what he was doing to Ngannou before he got taken down. So I'm going with Cyril Gane. I'm going by decision, but I feel like it's going to be competitive, but also clear that Cyril Gane will be the winner there. Now we go to the co-main event, Valentina Shevchenko versus Alexa Grasso. From now on, I'll go a bit faster because it is a huge card. So Shevchenko, obviously, better striker, good kicks, very dynamic, more power as well, better on the ground, better wrestling. I don't know about the BJJ though, because Grasso has pretty good BJJ, but I feel like Shevchenko is just too big, too strong, too good. And I feel like she will get a decision because Grasso is tough. Grasso is good. 4 win streak. Beat good opponents like Macy Barbara, Wood, Araujo as well. But I feel like it's just too soon for her to fight a girl like Valentina Shevchenko. Shevchenko will win this one. This is going to be a decision though. Next up, Geoff Neal versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. This is a fight I am very hyped about, man. Geoff Neal, of course, had 2 losses in a row against Thompson and Neil Magny after a bounce back. Very good. Not as good against Ponzinibbio, but against Vicente Luque, man, he looked amazing out there. Man, he was an underdog in that fight as well, because he did look too good in his last few. Of course, beat Mike Perry very impressively, but after that, got beat by Thompson badly, got beat by Magny badly as well. Like that really wasn't a good look. I feel like if you look at what Shavkat did to Magny, like easily dominated him and got a submission win there. I feel like Shavkat should be able to do the same to Geoff Neal, just take him down, grind him out, and get a submission. Maybe in the second or the third round. Shavkat Rakhmonov, 16 wins, pretty sure, like 8 by KO, 8 by submission, 93% going with Rakhmonov as well. I'm definitely expecting a finisher. Geoff Neal, not the greatest on the ground. On the feet, is very sharp. Very good right hand, very good left hand as well. Like he has some speed on him as well. I feel like Shavkat, he could strike with him and he could have success there as well, but I feel like if he's just smart about it, he'll take him to the ground and just grind him out. Some ground and pound, some submission attempts, and get a submission maybe second or third round, because Geoff Neal does tend to get tired as well when he gets wrestled. So I'm going with a second round submission for Rakhmonov. Now we got Mateusz Gamrot versus Jalen Turner. Also a very good fight at lightweight. Gamrot came in on short notice to fight Jalen Turner because Dan Hooker pulled out of the fight, which I'm very happy about, because I feel like Jalen Turner would have fucked Dan Hooker up, man. Mateusz Gamrot, though, like I said, short notice, pretty sure like 2-3 weeks ago he came in. This man has amazing cardio. He is very good, amazing wrestler. Beat Arman Tsarukyan, which was very close. I felt like he lost that fight, but Arman Tsarukyan is the elite of the elite, top 3 in my opinion. And Benil Dariush, same thing, a competitive fight. Benil Dariush just a bit too good with the BJJ, and beat Gamrot, but I feel like these two are just elite of the elite, top 5 for sure, 100%. Well, I feel like Jalen Turner isn't quite there yet. His striking is very good. His BJJ is good. Wrestling is pretty good as well. But I'm just not that impressed with the ground game. I feel like Gamrot is just he's just a tank. He's just a machine that just goes forward and just won't stop until he wins. I don't think that anyone has ever outgrinded Mateusz Gamrot because this man is just crazy with what he does, man. The cardio on this man is fucking wow. Um, I feel like he will just out wrestle Turner, man. It's going to be competitive on the feet. Turner is definitely the better fighter. He's tall, he's long, and he that will be a problem at 6'3" for Gamrot because he isn't the greatest striker. He's all right, but nothing too crazy. Defensively, he's all right as well. Um, I feel like Gamrot will be able to beat Jaden Turner because the cardio is too good, the wrestling is too good, the BJJ is amazing as well. Jaden Turner also tends to tire a bit after the first and second round, and I feel like that will be an advantage for Gamrot, and he will win the fight this way. I'll go with the decision because Gamrot isn't the biggest finisher, especially on top level, but you know it's going to be dominant in the third, but the first two are going to be competitive. Now we got Jamie Pickett versus Bo Nickel. Obviously, Bo Nickel very hyped up, 3-0. Got some good wins. All of them by finish, 2 submissions, 1 KO. Like he got 2 wins at Dana White's Contender Series. The striking looked pretty good. The wrestling obviously amazing. The BJJ has been looking pretty good as well. Like in his last fight, he got a pretty slick triangle choke. Like he was on top, just kind of pulled guard, I guess, or just went to his back, like right into a triangle choke. Very impressive. And now he's fighting Jamie Pickett, who's pretty big, pretty strong, but nothing he's particularly great at. Like he's all right in the clinch, he's all right in the wrestling, he's all right in the striking, has pretty good power. But man, Bo Nickel, I feel like he's at 3 now. He's the better striker, he's the better grappler, he's the better wrestler, and from my understanding, Bo Nickel isn't too crazy strong, but he's just good. He's technical, and he can get you to the ground. He can get you submitted and everything. I'm going with Bo Nickel. Obviously, I'm going with a submission or maybe a KO TKO. Now I'll go with the submission first round after just dominating him in the grappling. I feel like this will be an easy debut for Bo Nickel. Jamie Pickett isn't too good. The power isn't too crazy as well. So, yeah, it's going to be an easy one. Now go to Cody Garbrandt versus Trevin Giles, which is a banger. Now the last 4 for both guys, they don't really show us that this will be a banger. But come on, when Cody Garbrandt fights, it's going to be a banger. Last win, Rafael Sonsao got beat by Ron Font pretty badly. Got KO'd by Kai Kara France pretty badly as well at 125. Obviously it's not the same Cody we've seen like from the Dominic Cruz fight and everything. I feel like that's far past us at this point. I don't think that Cody Garbrandt will ever be back. I feel like his style is a bit outdated as well, especially at 135. Man, those guys are so good, man. Like if we look at the top 10, I feel like every one of them just kills Cody Garbrandt at this point. I love Cody, man. He was one of my favorite fighters when I just came up into the UFC. He was just so good. Like the Dominic Cruz fight, well, wow, just amazing. But it's not the same guy. We're far past it. But Trevin Jones, far from elite, especially at 135. Last 3 lost to Saidjikub Kakramanov, who is top 15 in the UFC. I don't know why the UFC cut this guy. I am so mad at that, bro. Saidjikub Kakramanov, literally top 15 level. He was beating the shit out of Said Nurmagomedov before he got into a choke. If we had a rematch right now at this point, I feel like Saidjikub would just dominate them, not get into those bad positions, and just win the fight dominantly, man. Saidjikub is so good, and they caught him for no reason because he lost 1 fight. He came in short notice against Trevin Jones, like 5 days notice when he was in in his home country. What is it, Kazakhstan or no, Uzbekistan. He was in Uzbekistan. He was like 20 pounds overweight. They called him. They said, "Are you in America?" He said, "Yeah, I'm in America." Well, he was in Uzbekistan. He was there. He wasn't even training. He came in 20 pounds over. He made the weight. No, he did miss weight, but in 5 days it's very hard to lose some like 20 pounds. So he did not make weight, like 2.5 over, but he came in, he beat Trevin Jones in all rounds and then slapped him in the third with a guillotine. So that is some bullshit. You see this, I am so mad about that, bro. Trevin Jones, whatever. Trevin Jones got beat by Javid Bashard as well, who's pretty elite. I'd say top 20, top 25. I feel like Bashard would beat Cody Garbrandt as well. Then got dominated by Honi Barcelos, like dominated badly. Not too high in Trevin Jones. He did beat Mario Bautista, who I am pretty high on, and he beat Timur Valiev, who I know he got cut for some weird reason as well. Like he's still top 25. He lost one fight and they cut him. It was weird, but Trevin Jones has a few good wins in the UFC, 2 good wins. These guys are like top 25 in my opinion, top 20 even maybe. He beat them both by finish. Well, I'm pretty sure he was losing those fights, but he still won. And this one is weird. I feel like Trevin Jones has good power. Cody Garbrandt has not too bad of a chin. I feel like he just gets hit way too cleanly, but the defense is bad. The defense on this guy is bad as well, but the offense on both is amazing. So this is going to be a stalemate until one of them lands, and I feel like the one landing will be I'm going with Cody Garbrandt because I feel like he just fought at a higher level at this point. Trevin Jones hasn't impressed me. He's been dominated in this last few. And yeah, I'm going with Cody because I love him as well. So maybe a bit biased, but whatever. Now we got Derek Brunson versus Dricus du Plessis. Now this is going to be a weird fight. Both guys don't have the best gas tank. They tire pretty badly, but when Derek Brunson tires, he tires and he's done. Dricus, he comes back. Like when he tires, the gas tank may be low, but it's never empty. Yeah, that's what he said, like in his post-fight interview against Darren Till, which was 2 months ago, by the way. So a pretty good quick turnaround. Derek Brunson, of course, suffered the bad loss against Jared Cannonier. Man, that was scary. That KO was scary. That was over a year ago now, but still, man, wow. At 39 years of age, I don't know if that's I don't know if that will how that will affect him, but I feel like Dricus du Plessis is too fast on the feet, too powerful on the feet, and he might be losing the fight. I feel like Derek Brunson will win the first round by out wrestling him, but he'll just get tired. Dricus will be tired as well, but his gas tank won't be empty, and Derek Brunson's gas tank will be empty, and I feel like at that point du Plessis just lands a 1-2 and knocks his ass out because Brunson doesn't have the best chin as well. Dricus is the better striker, so he'll get him out of there in the, I'll say, second round. It will look like the Jared Cannonier fight. Like he will be close to winning, but just lose because he tires. Next up, Viviana Araujo versus Amanda Ribas. Ribas a slight favorite, which is kind of surprising to me. Although Ribas has done pretty good, like a split decision against UK again. From what I've heard, that was a robbery. I haven't watched that fight because I was working at the time, but split decision, very close. Araujo lost to Alexa Grasso pretty dominantly in a 5-round fight. Beat Andre Lee, lost Chikagian as well. 36 years of age. Oh, that's tough. I had no idea she was that old. Yeah, I'm going with Ribas. I feel like she is the better striker. Araujo is strong, but not too great on the ground as well. So I don't feel like that will be a big problem for Ribas. Ribas did well against Chikagian, while Araujo not so much. So I'm going with Ribas by decision because it is women's MMA. So next up, Julian Marquez vs Marc-Andre Barriault. Tough one to predict. Both guys 3-2 in the last 5. Yeah, Marquez beat Darren Stewart 5 years ago already, man. Of course, he had some big injuries, 2.5 years off, beat Maki Pitola after losing the fight, beat Sam Alvey, lost badly to Gregor Rodriguez. It was 8 months ago, but he got slapped so bad. It was one of the worst fights I've ever seen. It was bad. Marc-Andre Barriault got slapped by Anthony Hernandez, like got dominated in the entire fight. Won against Jordan Wright, but that's Jordan Wright. Got beat by Chidi Njokwanu, but that's Chidi. Beat Abu Azaitar and Doche Jambula. Nothing too crazy. This is a very hard one because I feel like these guys are perfectly matched. The striking, I'd say, will go to Marquez, but the grappling and the grappling and the cardio will go to Marc-Andre Barriault. This is very close. I am going with Marc-Andre Barriault because I feel like he could out-wrestle Marquez and win the decision that way. Because if Maki Pitolo could, then Marc-Andre could as well. Now got Ian Gary versus Kenan Song. I'm going with Ian Gary by decision. I'm going to get this out of here real quick. Of course, 3-0 in the UFC. Kind of a tough debut against Jordan Williams. It was getting beat until he found the KO in the first round. Beat Darian Weeks, beat Gabe Green. Now he's fighting Kenan Song, who got knocked out pretty badly in the first round by Max Griffin. Before that, beat Caden Pollard and Derek Kranz, but I feel like Gary, of course, too fast, too good. Young, so he's making big improvements. I'm going with Gary. I'm going with the decision because I don't know if he has that much power, and Kenan Song doesn't make huge mistakes, although he hasn't fought in almost 2 years. So it might be a TKO, but I'm going with the decision for Gary. Now we got Mano Martinez versus Cameron Simon. This fight will probably not go the decision. Simon fought 2 months ago, on the same card as Dricus du Plessis. Looked good in there against Steven Koslow. Out-grappled him, out-struck him as well. Had good cardio. Before that, KO, TKO, decision, KO. He's fought pretty good competition, man. 6-0, 5-1, 8-7 for a guy that's 7-0 at 22 years of age is very good. Mana Martinez, fought pretty alright competition as well. Beat Jose Johnson, who is in the UFC right now. Beat Guido Canetti, which was very close. Got beat at Ronnie Lawrence, but he's a good wrestler. And beat Brandon Davis by split again. So this guy is a split decision machine, but I feel like Simon. Now I'm going with this decision for Simon. I feel like he will just out-grapple and out-strike him, and pretty comfortably. Although Mano Martinez does have good power, I'm going with decision for Simon, but it might get tricky. Jessica Penne versus Tabitha Ricci. This is a hard fight to predict as well because both girls don't have the best striking, but they are pretty good on the ground. Tabitha Ricci, of course, got beat by Montefiore at a weight class up short notice. That's going to happen. Beat Maria Oliveira and beat Poliana Viana by decision. Jessica Penne lost to Dakota in the last one. Beat Carolina by armbar. And beat Lupita Godinez by split decision. But from what I've come to understand, that was a robbery. Tabitha Ricci does have the better wrestling. I'm going with her. I'm going with her by decision because at 40 years of age, it's tough. She's a smaller fighter, but she's pretty strong. She is pretty good. Wrestling is good. BJJ is good as well, so I'm going with a decision. Although Jessica Penne could pull off like an armbar or an arm triangle or just a triangle. From the back, decision for Tabitha Ricci. Now got Farid Basharat versus Damon Blackshear. A big surprise to me is that Farid is such a big favorite. Damon Blackshear came on short notice against Yusuf Zalal, did pretty well. Won the draw. Pretty alright competition for a guy 12-4. Yeah. I mean, just getting into the UFC, it's not too bad. At 5'10", is pretty big, taller, and has a 1-inch reach advantage. Of course, Farid Basharat is the younger brother of Javid Basharat, so these two guys are pretty promising. Of course, he has some good wins, a lot of finishes, but a lot of decisions as well. I'm going with Farid, but at minus 450, that's definitely not something I'd bet. It's kind of surprising to me that he's such a big favorite, probably because of his brother, although he is pretty good. So I'm going with Farid, but man, at minus 450, that's kind of crazy. Then we got Loic Rajabov versus Esteban Ribovic. Apparently he's Argentinian, but I'm not sure about that. His name's El Gringo, so that means he's white, so European or something. So that makes sense. Like probably his dad is like Argentinian, his mom is I don't know, Albanian or some shit. I don't know. But the Loic Tajikistan. Oh, this is the second fighter in the UFC from Tajikistan. Like last week, of course, the Tajik Eagle, the guy that looks like Khabib, Nurullah Aliyev. Now Loic Rajabov, Russian based, of course, because these guys, they speak Russian. They have a good connections to Russia. So, yeah. Raush Manfia, pretty good fighter. He lost to them. Alex Martinez, not that sure. At 5'8", he's not the biggest guy. He came in on short notice. To be honest, I haven't seen either of these guys fight, so I'm just going off of, off of records and everything. 11-0. Hasn't faced the best competition, although these records are pretty good, especially for an Argentinian fighter. I'm going with Loic because he is older. He has more experience, and he tries to kill Cliff with good guys like what's his name, Gilbert Burns. So I'm going with Loic Rajabov, but I have no idea, to be honest. So let's just get over the whole card. I'm going with Cyril Gane, Valentin Shevchenko, Shavkat Rakhmonov, Mateusz Gamrot, Bo Nickel, Cody Garbrandt, Dricus Duplessis, Amanda Hibas, Marc-Andre Barriot, Ian Gary, Cameron Simon, Tabitha Ricci, Farid Basharat, and Loic Rajabov. That was it, guys. Thanks for watching. I will do a more in detail breakdown for a few fights like Jon Jones versus Cyril Gane. I've done one already. Probably for Shevchenko versus Grasso, or maybe not, because no, Shevchenko will win. One for Shavkat versus Neil, Gamrot versus Turner, and of course for Bo Nickel, maybe for Cody Garbrandt. And yeah, that was it, guys. Thanks for watching. If you have any feedback and anything, just let me know, and I'll see you guys later.